Hello everyone. Today I'd like to introduce two tote bags that I enjoy using recently. And both of them are from Louis Vuitton. One is Stresa PM. This one I have introduced in my previous video about my summer tote bags. And this is a very functional and very beautiful bag. And the other tote bag that I enjoy using is called the Batignolles Horizontal. And the one I have is a special edition with gold embroidery. I think there's also one in white embroidering, and the one I have is called in gold. Okay, so I will introduce this bag in more detail later, but I'd like to introduce 7 rationales that I use to decide on buying a bag. And this is not only applicable to tote bags, it can be applied to all the handbags. And the first criteria that I'm looking at is that these bags should not have straps that are too thin. Okay, I got this idea from my 2 old Longchamp bags, and this one I enjoy using a lot, and this is a smaller size, and the other one I have here is the larger size, which has a very wide bottom. And I think this strap and this one, they have the same thickness and about the same length, I would say. Maybe just a little bit longer, but I believe it's almost the same. But anyways, what I found from my 2 Longchamp bags is that this bag, it has a very large body, and the strap is very thin in comparison. So if I put a lot of stuff in this big tote bag, when carrying this, and this will really dig in my shoulder, and it doesn't feel very comfortable if you're going to wear this bag for a longer time. So from the lesson I learned from these 2 bags, I found that, okay, if you're going to buy a tote, try to avoid those with very thin straps, namely like Louis Vuitton Never Full. It's a very big tote where you can put a lot of things in, but the strap is very thin. I think it's even thinner than the Longchamp strap. Okay, so Never Full is probably not a bag that I would choose as my tote. But if you already have the Never Full, it's okay. It's just that I don't have it. Okay, so that is my rationale after using the Longchamp bags, the small one and the larger one. Okay, so this is the first point. Okay, don't go for bigger totes with very thin straps. And the second point is that avoid bags that has a very wide bottom. What I mean is this, okay? If the bottom is like too wide, I would try to avoid that. This is also from a previous bag that I had, and it was the Louis Vuitton Elma PM. Okay, it has the Elma PM has a very wide bottom, and well, this one also has a wide bottom. However, this is very soft. Okay, so but not for the Elma PM. It has a very stiff, very thick white button that you cannot press into like this. Okay, so why do I say that? It's because sometimes when I carry my bag to go out and I need to put my bag on the same chair as myself, so I would just put it behind me, and if the bottom is like too wide, I will have very little space to sit. Okay, because I'm not used to putting my handbags on the floor. I know, like in the West and in some places, people would put their bags on the floor, but that's just not my habit. So I would normally hand it on the back of the chair, or just put it on the same chair behind me, or even put it on my lap. Okay, so for me, I would try to avoid bags that has a very wide bottom. Okay, unless they can be like squeezed into a thinner size. Okay, so in other words, as you can see, this is also a lesson I learned from my Longchamp Tote, because it's very wide. So for this bag, I can only like hand it on the back of my chair, or put it on the table. Okay, so this is what I learned from my previous bags. Okay, and the third point that I learned from my previous purchase is that I would try to avoid bags that are too heavy. Okay, so both the Longchamp totes and my Louis Vuitton totes, they are made of canvas or the PVC. So they are of course very lightweight. And in the past, I used to be very fascinated with a brand called Mulberry, and it's British brand. And I love the style called Bayswater, which is like a very, uh, very handsome, very carefree version of the Birkins from Hermes. And for that bag, I can carry it on my shoulder. But since it's made by cowhide leather, it's super heavy, okay, without me putting anything in it. So like whenever I carry that bag, even though it looks very cool, I love the style a lot, and I know that that bag is so popular in London. I went to London once and I saw a lot of girls wearing that bag at the time. Oh, so it was like a decade ago. Okay, so I think the base water is like too heavy, and I realized that a lot of leather bags are very heavy. Okay, so I try to avoid bags, no matter whether they are canvas or leather. If they are too heavy without me putting anything in it, I will try to avoid that. Okay, and so this is also a lesson I learned from previous purchase experience. So the fourth lesson I would try to apply in my bag buying is that I would try to avoid some cheap bags made with cheap material, especially those with very unpleasant smells. For example, no matter whether they are made by leather or PVC, sometimes the bad quality stuff, they will have very strong, like either PVC or the leather smell. I will not buy it because it's very difficult to get rid of those smell. Even you put it like outdoors for like 1 or 2 days, the smell still like lingers. So I would try to avoid buying bags that come with a cheap like PVC or leather smell. Okay, so this is the fourth lesson I've learned from previous bag buying experience. And the fifth one is that I would try to avoid bags that come with a lining that's not carefully sewn. Okay. For example, when I look at a Louis Vuitton bag, I'm always amazed at its awesome quality. The lining is always so carefully sewn. It's not like too loose and it's not like too tight. It fits pretty well. So you got no trouble like using their bags. However, there are some kind of bags which I feel that the lining is just like too loose. Uh, Let me see whether I can find an example uh, to talk about what I mean by loose. Okay, for example, this is a Longchamp bag. I mean the lining, like if this it's a black one, so it's very hard to tell. I mean if this piece of clothes is like very loose and it's like goes everywhere. When you grab a stuff, you kind of pick up a piece of cloth in it. I don't know whether you have experience of that, but there are some bags whose lining is not, it's just not carefully sewn. It's like too loose, so it's not very comfortable to use. So I would try to avoid bags that are like that. Okay, so and the sixth point that I want to talk about, I would try to avoid bags that is shallow and without a zipper or a very or with a wide opening. What I mean is that, for example, sometimes there are bags. For example, the Gucci, the Jackie. I don't know the whether it's called Jackie. It's like a shoulder bag where you can like put it on your shoulder, but there's no, the opening is just like one piece of, like it's just one piece of leather attached to it. This one, it not only have this clasp, but it also has a zipper. Okay, so if you like put your if your back is tilted, the things inside will not come out. Okay, but sometimes there are like bags, maybe it's a shoulder bag, and it does not have a very closed lining or with zipper or any like careful piece of cloth to guard your stuff. When you put your bag on the table, the things inside your bag just fall out. So I would try to avoid bags that are like that, because sometimes if you have like lipstick or your change or your cards or your even your wallet, they might just come out without you noticing that. Okay, so this is a 6 point. Okay, and the last point I would try to pay attention to is that I would try to avoid bags that are like a deep pit. Okay, and for example, this is also a lesson I learned from my Longchamp big tote. When I buy this, because I use the smaller one a lot, and I find this is so useful. But somehow I know that the size is not like big enough. So if I want to go traveling or have some like 2-day trip, I this one would not be enough for me to use. That's why I bought the larger size. But once I bought it, I realized that this one is not as useful as the smaller size because it's just too big. It's too big. And whenever I need to find something, I need to like dig in and like move my hands around in this bag, and I need to really look for my stuff. So I realized that if you're going to buy a tote, try to avoid those styles that are like a big pit. Even though they may look very handsome and they have its charm. For example, the Louis Vuitton Noe, it has always been on my wish list. But the reason why I didn't get it is because I know like a lot of people have described the Noe as the big pit, and you need to really dig in to find your stuff. And this is what has stopped me from getting a vintage Noe bag, even though I really love the style. Plus, it has a very wide bottom, almost like a square, which is something I try to avoid in my second point. Okay, so that's why I stopped. I stopped putting it on my wish list, even though it's a wonderful bag I would love to buy. Okay. Okay, so this is my 7 points about buying a handbag. Oh, and by the way, if you are trying to buy a strap, okay, a bag with a strap, try to buy something that has this like a piece of cloth or leather instead of like I know Chanel has this chain, very beautiful chain with strap threaded, a piece of strap leather threaded in it. If you wear this part on your shoulder for a long time, it's going to be very hard on your shoulder because it will really cinch in. It's not really that comfortable if you wear it for a long time. Okay, for a small period of time, it's okay and it's very beautiful. But if you're going to wear the bag for a while, try to buy something at least have a piece of leather. It will feel more comfortable to sit on your shoulder. Okay, so this is a tip in choosing a bag that you can wear more comfortably. Okay, so my latest purchase of bags is this Louis Vuitton. Let me repeat its name. Louis Vuitton monogram dentelle. Dentelle refers to the embroidery. Embroidery. Okay. This is a style, I think it's from the 2008. Okay. Yeah, this is a secondhand, pre-loved found. Okay. And Dentelle Batignolles is the style. And it has a vertical style and mine is a horizontal style. Okay. And originally you can really cinch this part like this. Okay. But as you can see, I just don't do that. I want to use it as a like a tote, like on the go or the never full kind of tote. Okay, so this is why I didn't cinch that in, even though the bag is designed to be cinched, but I just don't like it to be cinched. Okay, so I just leave it like that, and I really enjoy this bag. Not only can I fit a lot of things in it, the kind of canvas in it is very durable, and the style I had is a special edition with this beautiful embroidery. I feel that this embroidery is so delicate. It's like lace, and yeah, so I know the style also come in the Speedy 30. Okay. Oh, by the way, Speedy is a bag that I will not buy. even though I did have Speedy 25 twice. Okay, I had the Speedy 25 in Damier Ebene and also the Damier Azur, but I ended up selling both of them. The reason is that it has a white button, and for me, I realized that even though I like the style, and I'm not really keen in using bags that has a white bottom. Okay, even though the bottom is very soft and you can squish that in, but it looks very slouchy, and I just don't feel it looks good. And so yeah, I am a little bit picky about my bags. And okay, so of course you can fit a lot of things inside this bag, and I've prepared some stuff that I can sort of demonstrate what I can put in it. Okay, first of all, my cosmetic pouch, and then my cell phone, and then my agenda. I use the Louis Vuitton passport holder for my agenda. I just found this like passport size notebooks. So it's very handy and I love this. And my wallet and a book. My mask, water bottle, and my umbrella. It's really necessary if you are in Taiwan and you need to go out, especially in summer. And a pen, okay, and my Metro card, and sanitizer. Interestingly, I can put my sanitizer in this pocket here, which used to be a place where you can put your cell phone. Okay, in the early 2000 or in the 90s. Okay, and of course, I can put my purse inside the zip pocket that comes with this bag. Okay, so everything fits in. Okay, and yeah, if you are afraid that your stuff is going to fall out, because it does not, it does have a clasp, but if you are afraid that your stuff will fall out, I would suggest you can bring a thin jacket or a scarf you can put on it. Okay, because in the air conditioned room, maybe you will need your light jacket. Okay, so if you are looking to buy like Neverfull or a Tote, I highly recommend the style. And this, let me just remind you again, the style is called the Batignolles. I saw a lot on the pre-love market. This style is, or if you are looking to buy like on the go or like Neverfull, you can totally use this style to replace the Tote. And it's even better because you got thinner straps and very durable, like attached very durably on this bag. And there's this clasp as well, and yeah, and it's not too thin, and you can easily access your stuff. Okay, And plus, since this is not a very famous bag in Louis Vuitton, you can get it at a cheaper price, probably like 700, 800, even lower if you find it on the pre-love market. And the one I had is a special edition, so mine is around 1,000 something, like with discount prices. So yeah, so that is what I'm going to share today. Uh, my latest purchase of this tote, and also the 7 points that helped me choose to buy a handbag. Okay, I hope you enjoy watching this video, and hopefully if you have some tips in buying bags, you can also share with me. Okay, bye.